Today I have the Thrunite TC20 and this is the TC20 Pro. I previously reviewed the TC20 version 2, link to that review up here, and this light is for all intents and purposes kind of the same light, except if you look at the prices on Amazon, links below, it is a little bit more expensive. It's actually a little bit dimmer, but because this one has a smooth reflector as opposed to the orange peel reflector of the TC20 version 2, this one actually throws farther. They say it throws, I think, about 70 meters farther. The TC20 V2 was a little bit more, a good mixture of flood and throw, and this one, as you'll see, has a little bit more of a focus beam and is a little bit better for throw, again, because of that smooth reflector that it has in there. So that's the basic gist of the comparison. Like I said, that 384 meter throw on this one versus 299, so a little bit farther there. $76 versus $70. The sizes and the button and everything are exactly the same. This one does have an updated LED. This has the Cree XHP70HI or high, not sure which one, whereas the other one has the Cree XHP70.21. Again, I don't know how much of a difference there is between those two. I know that when I press the button, light comes out the front of both of them. But they're both, that sounds like they're both similar LEDs. I'm not an LED expert, and I bet no one cares for the most part as long as, again, light comes out. So that's the gist of the comparison between these two. The big difference on this is going to be that different reflector and a little bit farther throw. Now, size-wise of this, you can see that it's a kind of small, chunky light. There's no pocket clip, so you're not gonna be able to put this in your pocket standard with a clip, but it is kind of palm size, so depending on what you're wearing, you could throw this in the right kind of pocket, maybe a cargo pocket or something. Or there is, of course, the included belt clip case. If you're familiar with the nylon belt clip cases, you know that there is stiff nylon and there's kind of floppy, softer nylon. This is definitely of the softer, floppy side. It's not good or bad, just for those of you that are wondering how it is, this is of the softer variety. And it goes in there just like that. There's a D-ring, and there is a spot to put pass your belt through or anything else you might want to mount this on, and you could carry it that way, or you could stick this on a bag. Again, some different ways you could carry, or you could just throw it in a bag or next to your bed or in your car. Again, a bunch of different ways you could carry this or place this. Now, aside from the light itself, let me just give you an idea before we get into the light, just what else it comes with. Standard Thrunite packaging, as pretty much all of their lights do. Of course, the instruction manual, which we're going to cover here. Comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable, because this light is rechargeable. And it comes with a little packet of goodies, which includes a lanyard, an extra O-ring, an extra push button, and a ring right there that you could clip onto the lanyard hole right there if you wanted. Taking the light apart, you can unscrew it in two spots. You can take the whole tube off. Inside, it does come with a Thrunite 5,000 milliamp hour 26650 battery. Again, this is a pretty chunky battery as far as batteries go. But the tube will come apart right there, and you can look all the way through it if you're so inclined. And then there's the head, and those are the three parts of the light. Screwing this back together. O-ring here for that IPX8 rating, help with that waterproofing and weatherproofing, and then screwing this back together. There's a little bit of knurling sort of here on the body to help with a little bit of grip. Moving forward to that, right here is the charging port. You plug that USB-C cable in there, you plug it into a wall brick. That is not included, but I think everyone probably has a million of those. The light on the other side will light up red as it's charging, blue when it's fully charged. And then again, you can seal this back up to help with that weather rating right in there. The button on the other side, when you turn it on, it will glow initially to give you an idea of the charging status. Blue, 21 to 100, red, 11 to 20, and flashing red for 1 to 10%. That way you know, kind of gives you an idea when you need to charge it. Forward to that, a heat sink, and in there is, as I mentioned, that smooth reflector with the Cree XHP70HI LED. User interface of this, if you are familiar with any modern flashlight, you are going to easily adapt to this one. It is the same as every other flashlight that's in the world these days, thankfully. long press and you're going to get to the moonlight mode. 0.4 lumens for a whopping 69 days, and moonlight, as I mentioned many times, is really useful when your eyes are adjusted to the dark. From the moonlight mode, you can either click it back off, and then if you click it on, it has mode memory. And in this case, it starts on low, and you just hold down the button and it cycles through low, medium, high. Low, medium, high, 30, 264, 15, 13 lumens, and cycles between those. And from any output, you can double click to turbo, and then double click again to strobe, and then goes back off. You can get to the turbo from off by double clicking right there, and then again, click it back off. So pretty straightforward stuff. It will do that turbo for 200 seconds, and then it will ramp down to 1500. I will say if you leave that turbo on for a long time, I left it on for a long time, and the head with that heatsink definitely gets warm, but it actually got warm about halfway down the body. Not intolerable warm, but when I was holding it, it was definitely warm up here on my index finger. So it's not likely that you're going to need that 3294 lumens. Almost on no light you need the turbo for a long time. But as I say, if you have this on a higher mode, it will start getting warm over time. Now, some other thoughts on the light. The button right there is very smooth. And if you are outside in the dark and you're running your fingers around it trying to find the button, and especially if you have gloves on, I think if you have gloves on, there's no chance you're going to find that button, because it just blends right in. It's very smooth, and so you really need a way, and I don't know a way. On other lights, when you have a pocket clip, you can align the pocket clip so it's kind of right there into the button. But on this one, because it's just so smooth, it is going to be a little bit hard to find depending, again, on your situation. That's my one critique of the light. I'm not quite sure what they could do to fix that. If it was rubber, it'd be kind of a similar problem. It just blends in right there on the side of the light. So just, again, something to be aware of. Now this light, like I mentioned before, does have a pretty good amount of throw to it. It is more throw than flood, but still has a reasonable amount of flood and spill up close. But there's that water tower. That is a good, at least 100 yards away, I'd say. And there's a decent amount of light on that water tower. So this light's going to be handy both for some up close stuff, and if you need a portable light that has a pretty narrow beam distance that you need to kind of reach out and touch someone in the dark, this light is going to be great for that. So not a lot to this review because this light is pretty straightforward. It's just like every other light. It's very affordably priced. I would say at $76, the link's below, it is a good amount of throw and, you know, some up close stuff at those lower distances, those lower brightnesses, you know, 30 lumens that you're going to get 89 hours out of, and 30 lumens is way plenty for stuff that you don't need to reach out to the end of a football field for. They say that it will throw 384 meters, but realistically, you're probably not going to be lighting stuff up in a meaningful distance to see with a light this small at 384 meters, but there may be some light on it. But anyway, that's it. The Thrunite TC20 Pro. Check this one out. Some links down below as always, and I will catch you in the next video.